Hi Aries, I'm Ronique and welcome to Scorpio Soul Time. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to your November 2024 tarot reading. This is where we're going to look at the astrological energies of the month of November. Remember, October was a big month, Aries. You all had you all had a full moon on October 17th, which was really huge, as well as we had that Libra new moon as well. And so when we come into November, this is a big month. I feel like I have been saying that since August, but it is true. So the big things this month are Pluto moving back into Aquarius for the next 20 years, Saturn in Pisces retrograde ends, and Mercury in Sagittarius retrograde begins. So let's get right into it, Aries. If you haven't already checked out your sun, moon, and rising signs in this video series, go ahead and do that as well. All right, that first week of November finds you with the Magician card in the reverse, major arcana, as well as the Empress. So two major arcanas there. Second week finds you with the Queen of Pentacles, as well as the Page of Cups in the reverse. Third week of November finds you with the World card. So some type of culminations happening here, Aries. Another major arcana in reverse, and your major arcanas continue. Strength card in reverse. Last week of November finds you with the Queen of Swords. Some type of important action could need to take place, as well as the High Priestess, last major arcana. So I will already tell you, Aries, before we pull any other cards, you all have 5 major arcana cards. So big month for you all. I think a lot of that has to do with Scorpio. As you all both know, you all both have Mars as your ruler, and Scorpio has that co-ruler also with Pluto. So you all could be affected a lot in November with that Pluto conversations going on, as well as the Mars conversation. So let's go ahead and ask Spirit to send a card representing the energy you bring into November. And another major arcana, the Hermit. So the Hermit card is that Virgo energy, and Virgo energy really is all about you tightening up the details, you focusing on yourself. I do think, Aries, I just heard as you have come into your full moon back in October, many of you all had some major culminations from that huge total eclipse we had back in the spring. And Spirit is asking you, whatever came up in October, really use that information to really guide you through November. And I do think that that's really big because a full moon is a culmination point, Aries. So for many of you all, you could have had some type of big announcements, or something could have come to an end, like a job or possibly a relationship, or it could have been on a smaller level. It could have been you just realizing you need to give up a certain type of food. Something here has ended, and you just need to learn how this will help you individually as you come into the month of November. And I think this is really good for you, Aries, because I think sometimes you focus so much on the goal that oftentimes you forget to focus on yourself. So make sure you are doing that. All right, Spirit, if you can send my Aries a card oracle message representing what you would like them to know as an overall message for the month of November. And you have wisdom, number 5. So wisdom is very similar to that Hierophant energy, right? Where is it that you gain your wisdom, needing to focus on possibly if you're with an organization, or if you are trying to, I feel like during this time, Aries, you've been gathering all this wisdom from the beginning of you and Libra's eclipses. And it feels like here in November, you're gathering this information and then you're going and using and applying it to where you're going. And I feel like that's what this picture is really depicting, is you with your Bible or book or whatever it is of, all of this history, and you are using your wisdom to guide you. And I think that's really important. I think it's similar to that Hermit, where he is or that person is walking on their own through this dark forest. It's like, where is it that you can use this wisdom to really level up in the upcoming 6 months? Because remember, that eclipse that or that Aries energy that we just had with that full moon will guide you for the next 6 months into the spring of 25. So let's look at your cards. Lots of major arcana cards. I do think it's interesting, Aries, how when you look at so many cards are focused at kind of like female. This deck is all females, but the depictions are very bold. And there's something about the Queen of Pentacles, the Empress, the Magician, the High Priestess, the Queen of Swords. Regardless of what kind of deck we're using, those are all very female-oriented, divine energy. And I think that as you're coming into this month, pay attention to that, Aries, because I do think Spirit is reminding you to tap into that side. Even though Mars energy is very masculine, there is a reminder here to do that, okay? And I do think that as you come into the beginning of November with that Scorpio New Moon, as well as Mercury trining Mars and Mercury entering Sagittarius, many of you all have some big plans. And I do think that those plans need to be refined. I think that these first few weeks of November, use that Scorpio New Moon to keep your ideas to yourself. Figure out where you want to go with those ideas and make sure you're executing them with precision. I'm hearing here that it's almost like you've had so much going on and you have so many ideas that you're not focused. And I do think that that's what that Hermit is reminding you. And that's what that Wisdom card is reminding you, that by time you move into Mercury entering Sagittarius, this could help you more be able to conversate in more of a fun way and not just more of a determined, I have to get this done way, okay? Now, another thing that's going on, Aries, as we all know, is the USA presidential elections on November 5th. During that time, it's going to be very big for the entire world. And a lot of this is going to be very interesting because it's a time when Mars is literally going through the last degrees of is Mars in Cancer opposite Pluto in Capricorn, that is at 29 degrees. So that last degree of Capricorn is literally opposing this Mars in Cancer. So during this time, really pay attention to what's going on in your own life. For you all look like you could be coming into some kind of money conversations, but more that someone's trying to help you. So if you have been trying to apply for a loan, or you need some just some motherly advice from a trusted friend, it feels like you could fall upon some type of conversation with someone who has all the answers that you need during this time. And that Mars entering Cancer, or I should say Mars in Cancer and then entering Leo, all on November 3rd, this could give you a little more it feels like you're going to get a little more gumption. Like you're going to be able to go and ask for what you need once Mars moves into Leo, because Mars is debilitated in Cancer. So once we get into that November 3rd, 4th, and 5th time, like leading up to the USA elections, pay attention to how you're feeling, but also what's happening on the world stage. Because I do think that during these first few weeks of November, this is going to be very interesting to see how the world goes with this whole Mars and Cancer and Leo opposing Pluto and Capricorn at that last 29th degree. And I do think that by time you move into that third week, we'll have Mercury now entering retrograde shadow. Now, this is a big time because remember, you now have the Strength card and the World card, both major arcanas in reverse. And that third week is when we have that Taurus full moon. So during that time, you could have some big culminations from the spring. Where is it that you were trying to end a cycle, Aries, but maybe you couldn't? I do think this is going to be a month where you're kind of looking back a lot. You're kind of saying, Okay, 6 months ago, where was I? 12 months ago, where was I? Because you're still in your eclipse cycle. And I do think there's something that you're just not done with. You thought you were, but you're not. And Spirit is telling you to be patient. It's coming, but you're going to have to be patient. And that Taurus full moon could help you see where you need to go next. Now you round out the month by the time we get into the last part of November, the sun entering Sagittarius on the 21st. Pluto finally moves into Aquarius for the next 20 years on November 19th. This is huge. We will never see Pluto in Capricorn again in any of our lives. So whatever happens this 3rd and 4th week, you can already see this is pretty big for you here. The World, the Strength, Queen of Swords, High Priestess. There's some kind of important women or divine energy going on in your life those last few weeks of November. I do think some of that could be wrapped around Mercury retrograding beginning November 25th, and then a Sagittarius new moon on December 1st. Be prepared for someone who is in a high up position to make an announcement, possibly around the end of November or into December. You could need to think this through. You could need to take some time for yourself after this announcement, because I do think it is something around your business, your money, possibly a client, possibly a family member, or this could even be on the world stage, like an announcement is made that you're later needing to think about. So whatever it is this month, Aries, I think it's going to be big. I think that there's a lot of energy here around you needing to just pay attention to where it is you are focusing on just your own life, and where it is you're needing to focus on people who come in the door, people who don't come in the door. I just think that you're just needing to be really laser focused on yourself, that wisdom card, that hermit card. And somewhere in here, I do think that you're going to have a really great November, but you're going to have to get really clear on what you specifically want. Okay, Aries? All right, I hope this was helpful for you. Tell me what you're looking forward to in this November. Take a look at your sun, moon, and rising signs, and I'll talk to you later.